The kitchen faucet dripped like a broken metronome at 12:30 a.m., and I was elbow-deep in pipe fittings when I heard Jessica giggling upstairs. Not the laugh she used with me. This was different, softer, intimate. "No, babe, he's completely clueless." Her voice drifted down through the heating vents. "I'll be at the office late again tomorrow. Don't worry, Eric." I froze, wrench in hand. "Clueless, huh?" "We'll see about that, sweetheart. My name's Danny Walsh, and I've been fixing things in this riverside mill town for 15 years. Water mains, electrical systems, broken marriages. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I work maintenance for the city, which means I know every building, every back alley, every dirty secret this place tries to hide." Jessica thought she was being clever with her late nights at the law firm. 3 months of overtime that never showed up on her paychecks. 3 months of new lingerie that disappeared from our bedroom drawer. 3 months of me playing the fool while she played house with her boss. The next morning, I watched her apply lipstick in our hallway mirror, preparing for another day of legal research with Eric Donovan. She wore the black dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. Apparently, it was good enough for her boyfriend, too. "Have a productive day, honey," I said, kissing her cheek. She tasted like lies and expensive perfume. "You too, Danny. Don't wait up if I'm late." Oh, I wouldn't be waiting. I had my own plans. The Riverside Legal Group occupied the nicest building downtown, all glass and steel, like a monument to people who thought they were better than the rest of us. I knew that building intimately. I'd installed half the electrical systems when they renovated 5 years ago. I also knew Eric Donovan. 40-something, divorced twice, drove a BMW that cost more than most people's houses. The kind of man who wore $1,000 suits and treated service workers like furniture. Perfect match for the woman my wife was becoming. Before we deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My first stop was Mel's Beauty Salon on Main Street. Melanie Crawford had been Jessica's best friend since high school, and she ran the town's gossip network better than the local newspaper. "Danny Walsh!" Mel looked up from a client's highlights. "What brings you to my little palace of beauty?" "Looking for advice about Jessica's birthday," I lied smoothly. "She's been working so hard lately, staying late with that boss of hers. Thought I'd surprise her." Mel's expression shifted, just a flicker, but I caught it. Guilt mixed with something else. Jealousy? "Oh, Eric Donovan," she said carefully. "Yes, he certainly keeps his staff busy." "You know him?" "Everyone knows Eric. He's quite the charmer." Her tone suggested charm wasn't the word she'd have chosen privately. I filed that away. In a town this size, everyone's business was public property, and Mel was the unofficial archivist. That evening, I searched our bedroom while Jessica showered. Behind her jewelry box, I found what I was looking for, a second phone, sleek and silver. The text messages painted a picture that would have made a sailor blush. Photos, too. Apparently, Eric's office had excellent lighting. The shower stopped running. I pocketed the phone and headed downstairs, whistling. Surprise! I walked into Jessica's office the next day, carrying takeout from her favorite restaurant. "Thought you might want lunch." Jessica's face went white. Eric stood behind her desk, adjusting his tie with suspicious haste. The office smelled like guilt and expensive cologne. "Danny, what are you doing here?" "Bringing my hard-working wife some food." I smiled at Eric. "You must be the famous boss. Eric, right? Jessica talks about you constantly." Eric's handshake was weak and sweaty. "All good things, I hope." "Oh, definitely. She says you really know how to motivate your employees." I set the food on Jessica's desk next to her purse. As I hugged her goodbye, I slipped the burner phone into her bag. Let them sweat over how I'd found it. Walking to my truck, I noticed Eric's BMW parked in the visitors section. Beautiful car. Shame if something happened to it. The next morning, I found 4 parallel scratches along my truck's driver's side, spelling out, "Back off," in jagged letters. Eric's signature, no doubt. The man had expensive taste in cars, but apparently bought his intimidation tactics at a discount store. I laughed out loud in the driveway. Mrs. Parker, our 70-year-old neighbor, peered through her blinds with professional curiosity. Perfect. "Morning, Mrs. Parker," I called out. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" She emerged onto her porch, coffee mug in hand. "What happened to your truck, Danny?" "Oh, some coward with a key and no backbone. But don't worry, I've got security cameras now. Next time I'll have them on video." I didn't have cameras, but Eric didn't know that. Let him spend a few nights wondering if his face was recorded. The Anchor Bar sat at the corner of Main and River Streets, a testament to the town's blue-collar roots. Denny Morrison owned it, my oldest friend and former police officer who'd seen enough of human nature to stock a psychology textbook. "You look like a man with a plan," Denny said, sliding a beer across the bar. "Maybe I am. Hypothetically speaking, what would you do if your wife was cheating?" "Hypothetically? I'd make sure everyone in town knew what kind of woman I'd married. Public humiliation's more effective than private revenge." Interesting theory. That's when Eric walked in, probably looking for liquid courage after his vandalism spree. He wore a tailored suit that screamed money and an expression that whispered insecurity. Well, I said loudly enough for the whole bar to hear. "If it isn't Jessica's boss, Eric, right?" Every conversation stopped. In a place like the Anchor, entertainment was scarce, and drama was premium content. "Danny?" Eric's voice cracked slightly. "Buy you a drink? Least I can do, considering how much overtime you're giving my wife. She comes home exhausted from all that hard work." The bar's patrons exchanged glances. In small towns, innuendo traveled faster than wildfire. "Actually, I was just leaving," Eric stammered. "Shame. I was hoping to hear more about Jessica's dedication to the job. She's always talking about how you really know how to push her to excel." Eric fled without ordering. The bar erupted in whispers before the door finished closing. "Subtle as a brick through a window," Denny observed. "Sometimes subtle doesn't get the job done." 2 days later, I found Mel in Jessica's closet, stuffing a bottle of expensive perfume into her purse. Our bedroom door had been unlocked when I came home from work, sloppy but revealing. "Looking for something specific?" I asked from the doorway. Mel jumped like she'd been electrocuted. "Danny, I was just... Jessica asked me to pick up some things." "Uh-huh. And she specifically mentioned the perfume I bought her for Christmas?" Mel's face flushed red. "Look, she has everything. The house, the job, the husband who worships her. She won't even notice one little bottle missing. But you will." "What's that supposed to mean?" I stepped into the room, closing the door behind me. "It means I know about Eric. I know about the affair. And I know you're not here out of friendship." Mel sank onto the bed, still clutching the perfume. "She doesn't deserve any of this. Do you know what she said about you last week? Called you a placeholder husband until something better came along." The words stung, but I kept my expression neutral. "What do you want, Mel?" "I want her to lose everything, the way she made me lose Tom." "Tom? Your fiancé, Tom?" "Ex-fiancé. Jessica decided she needed to test his loyalty last year. Guess who failed that test?" The pieces clicked into place. Mel wasn't just Jessica's friend. She was a woman scorned, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. "What did you have in mind?" I asked. Mel smiled, and for the first time, I saw the predator hiding behind the small-town beautician facade. "The Founders' Day festival is next weekend. The whole town will be there. What if Jessica's secrets became public knowledge?" "I'm listening." Founders' Day turned our fading mill town into something that almost felt alive again. Food trucks lined River Street, carnival rides spun beneath the gray sky, and the whole town came together to pretend we were still the thriving community we'd been half a century ago. I'd spent the week preparing. My maintenance job gave me access to the festival's PA system, and Mel had provided a treasure trove of evidence: photos, text messages, even a recording of Jessica bragging about manipulating poor, stupid Danny while she planned her exit strategy. The plan was simple. During the fireworks show, when everyone's attention was focused skyward, I'd broadcast Jessica's greatest hits through every speaker in the festival grounds. By morning, she'd be the most famous woman in town for all the wrong reasons. Jessica arrived wearing a sundress that probably cost more than my monthly salary, Eric trailing behind her like a nervous shadow. They'd grown careless, thinking their secret was safe in a town full of blind fools. "Danny!" Jessica waved from across the crowd. "Come meet some people from the office." I walked over, playing the devoted husband one last time. Eric's colleagues were cut from the same cloth: expensive suits, condescending smiles, the kind of people who used words like summer as a verb. "Danny works for the city," Jessica explained, her tone suggesting I cleaned sewers for a living. "How interesting," one of them replied. "Very," I agreed. "I keep the lights on, the water flowing, the sound systems working. Amazing what you can accomplish when people think you're invisible." Eric's face went pale. He was smart enough to catch the threat, even if his colleagues weren't. The sun set, and families gathered on blankets to watch the fireworks. I excused myself, claiming I needed to check the electrical systems one final time. Jessica barely acknowledged my departure. She was too busy whispering with Eric about their weekend getaway plans. The first firework exploded overhead as I reached the sound booth. Red, white, and blue sparkles reflected off the crowd's upturned faces, everyone lost in the simple magic of controlled explosions. I plugged in my phone and adjusted the microphone levels. The next firework burst, and I pressed play. Jessica's voice filled the festival grounds, crystal clear through 50 speakers. "Danny's so pathetic. He actually thinks I love him. God, the way he looks at me with those puppy dog eyes." The crowd's murmur died instantly. Heads turned, searching for the source of the voice. On the makeshift stage, Jessica stood frozen as her own words condemned her. Eric's voice joined hers. "When are you going to leave him?" "Soon. I'm just waiting for the right moment. Maybe after I get that promotion you promised me, the one that requires all those private meetings in your office." The recording continued, each revelation more damaging than the last. Jessica's plans to take half of everything in the divorce. Eric's promises to set her up in a downtown apartment. Their mockery of me, their friends, their co-workers. I watched from the sound booth as Jessica pushed through the crowd, desperately searching for a way to stop the broadcast. But the damage was spreading faster than she could move. Phones appeared, recording her humiliation for social media posterity. The final clip was Mel's contribution. Jessica's voice, slurred with wine, describing her affair with Tom and her plans to seduce Eric's business partner next. When the recording ended, the festival grounds were silent except for the whistle and crack of fireworks overhead. Jessica stood in the center of it all, tears streaming down her face, while Eric had simply vanished. I walked back to the crowd, hands in my pockets, wearing the expression of a man hearing this for the first time. "Well," I said to no one in particular, "I guess we're better off as friends." The crowd parted as I approached Jessica. She looked at me with a mixture of rage and desperation, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her like the festival's paper decorations. "Danny, I can explain." "No need," I interrupted. "I think everyone heard your explanation pretty clearly." Mrs. Parker appeared at my elbow, her eyes bright with the thrill of witnessing the scandal of the decade. "Danny, dear, you're welcome to stay in our guest room tonight. Or any night, really." Similar offers came from all directions. In the span of 10 minutes, I'd gone from town fool to local hero. Jessica, meanwhile, had become something else entirely. The final firework exploded overhead, a massive golden burst that illuminated the entire festival. In that moment of brilliant light, I saw Jessica's face clearly, defeated, exposed, and finally understanding that the clueless husband had been playing a different game all along. As the echoes faded and darkness returned, I walked toward my truck, leaving Jessica standing alone in the crowd that had once celebrated her. Behind me, I could hear the whispers starting, the phones buzzing with shared recordings, the machinery of small-town justice grinding into motion. I didn't look back. Some things are better left in the past, and some people get exactly what they deserve. The festival lights dimmed one by one, but the show was far from over. In a town this size, tonight's performance would run for years, and I had front-row seats to watch it all unfold.